Hello and good morning. My name's Tony, buyer, seller, trader, vendor, collector, grader. Yes, I stole that straight from my earn, but at least I didn't steal is this thing on? Is this thing on? Tactics. But I've had a YouTube channel for a while, but I just want to start, documenting my journey and just kind of like making a video log for myself, a vlog, if you will, about my journey and what's going on in the hobby. So it's currently August, I believe, 18th, 2026. The hobby's hotter than ever. All TCGs are mooning. Pokemon is thriving despite being in the middle of a little bit of pullback because we just had 3 semi-decent sets. And if you want to know my opinion on these sets, just to rank them, obviously everybody has Chaos Greninja at number 1, but I can't go for that. I'm putting Pitch Black at number 1. Morpeko carries. Cards that are not the top chase card that still retain value weeks after the set's release. I think there's a lot to be said about those because everybody knows that top chase, the gold card, the SIR, they're borderline unattainable. You know what I mean? Like the top cards. And just having something else that you can reach for around that second layer gives collectors just a better reason to rip. Like if I'm going to the vending machine, I'm grabbing Destined Rivals, I'm grabbing Surging Sparks, and then when it comes down to those bottom 3, I'm taking Pitch Black every time because I want that Morpeko. There's only one Greninja, but I can settle for Darkrai or Morpeko, But that's just me. But then in the realm of Magic, we have Magic Superheroes. The collector booster boxes are like still sub $500. They're right in that $450 range. You can find them locally on Facebook at about $400. I've been considering making that play. I've yet to swing the axe. And the Magic the Gathering, the Hobbit realm, the Hobbit boxes are like $850 as of this morning. And so I've just been stacking collector booster bundles, like the little $50 boxes or whatever. I've just been stacking those because they're just easier to come by, for me personally at least. I know LCSs all get large allocations or whatever, but since I'm not a Magic player and the player base or in my area is pretty solidified, I'm just grabbing what I can and just setting it away. I think that's a better opportunity right now than Pokemon or really anything else going on in most TCGs that you can do with minimal risk. Like obviously there's always going to be things like Power World where you can take on as much risk as humanly possible. You know what I mean? Power World's super dope, but the downside risk is just heavy because the boxes are already like almost $200, MSRP of like 40. Magic Collector booster bundles or boosters from Universes Beyond or whatever, MSRP is like $400. So when they go to $379, they're going back up. And when they're up at $600, the floor is at least at around $450. But so that's how I'm feeling about Magic. I think Magic is giving us a lot of good opportunities here for people who are patient. The Pokemon days of instant flips are basically long gone. I'm going to even go out on a limb and say that there won't be much margins made on the 30th anniversary set. I think that this might be a hot take because a lot of people are gassing up the anniversary set. They're super excited about it. But when you see this releasing on Target all the time, like every weekday at 3 o'clock in the morning, random leaders, ETBs, and all this other stuff, I just think that the Pokemon company has been getting it under control the last year and a half. And now the third, and then also on the retailer side, places where you pick up ETBs like Myers or Target or whatever, they've been upping the price. So it's not like you're getting $55 ETBs anymore or $49.99. At Myers, you're paying almost $80. It's like $74.99 or something for specialty sets now. So if the ETB sits at $120, you're making $30, $40. And people are going to camp out overnight, sick, crazy, to try to make these extra money. And I'm just starting to realize from my point of view, I'm not rich, but it's a dollar per hour perspective. And I think the dollar per hour to be made on Pokemon, as far as being a scalper, camper, whatever you want to call these people, I think it topped around Ascended Heroes ETB release date. Because within 2 months of Ascended Heroes ETBs, they basically hit the price that they were going to be at. And flippers were camping out all night at Meyer. And ever since then, it's been down only. Even SPCs, they get a couple SPCs at each location. But people are camping for hours and hours. And I don't think the 30th will provide that sort of opportunity. I think that the UPC numbers, based off what I've been hearing, are going to be looking similar to the Charizard EX UPC that we got last fall. And that thing was everywhere. Like, obviously, people were passing on that when they saw it for the 10th or 11th time. I don't think people will be passing on the 30th anniversary UPC ever. But I do think they'll be out there. I think we're still mostly just dealing with a serious bottom problem in the hobby. on all aspects. Pokemon, Magic, One Piece, they're kind of like the bots are just being allowed to run rampant. And I don't know if our technology as a country or as a world has not caught up to a level to like combat that, but we're not doing anything to stop bots. So like if you're ever botting, man, congratulations. Took a calculated risk and you won. I'm not going to demonize anybody for getting their money because this is America, you know, capitalism, blah, blah, blah. But for those of you like me who are not, it's probably time we do, honestly. Like, I mean, they've shown over the last year they have no regards for stopping any botters. People are getting hundreds of ETBs from every website. Target, Meijer, you know, Walmart, and even the Pokemon Center. And Pokemon Center does actually make an effort, you think, or it seems, to stop botters. But yeah, they're not going to be stopped. So I think the most bullish thing that I could do, honestly, is stack Magic the Gathering and invest in a bot. Because if this is the future of collecting, I mean, they're going to try to reprint sets and scare botters out. That's what they're doing right now with Destined Rivals. We've been getting to drop it every week. But it's not really working because no people who want it are getting it. The only people I know who score on these websites are the botters. But I don't even want to keep going on this tangent. I want to continue to talk about something that's even more near and dear to my heart. And that's fucking One Piece, man. I think in the One Piece markets, we're getting ready to see a ton of opportunity going into this holiday season. I think OP17 is pulling Pokemon 30th anniversary level traction, and this is just a giant offsize trap for a lot of investors, in my opinion. I'm not saying there won't be money to be made. There's always going to be grading plays, slabs, things to be flipped, you know, things that you can get money on. But I think that for the vast majority of like, oh, I'm going to buy it, I'm going to flip it, or I'm going to buy it, I'm going to sit and hold it, like you guys are going to get cooked playing with this new stuff. Because the one thing that we've never really had a good grasp on in TCGs is supply. And I know a lot of people who have close distro access, like they can speak a little bit more to that in today's current condition. But you have no idea where the ball is going and how much they plan on reprinting or how much they just plan on having this stuff available. So I just feel like Ultra Modern and One Piece and Pokemon, with yes, they have these insane chase cards that are going to want to make everybody want to gamble, want to make everybody want to speculate. And the majority of these packs are going to get gobbled up by ripper shippers, I'm sure. But everything that we know and that we're preparing for, the Pokemon company, TPCI, obviously has already thought about or encountered the vast majority of these things. So I just feel like a lot of people are going to get caught buying on secondary and inflated prices, and then it's going to be like that big "don't feed the scalpers" meme is finally going to come home to roost, because there's just no way, from what we've seen in the previous or the beginning, the last 6 months of the year, there's like an invisible ceiling on new modern ETBs. And that's what families are willing to spend at shows or what people are willing to buy online. Nobody wants to pay more than $150, $160 an ETB. Because then at that point, when you open that ETB up and you only get one singular EX card, you just turned $150 to $1. And it's just not a sustainable way for people to be involved in a hobby. So I just think that if it does come out low on the supply side, a lot of people are going to get wrecked because they're going to jump in and ape in and pay exorbitant prices, and they're not going to be ready for reprints every week. Like Ascended Heroes ETBs dropped at Meijer every week for, I want to say, like 12 weeks. Like, and I'm not saying that Meijer's is like a good place to like base the supply run off of, obviously, because they do get Walmart level distro, but they don't sell online, so they have like a lot more stuff than the average place. But I think it's a good place to start. And if it's gonna be that available, I think that we've already seen the ceiling on what something like that can do. Even with the red, blue, green, like possibly being better than the Trigachu and the Gengar, like, I mean, I'm not really concerned about the cards. It's more so the fact that we know people want to play this chase now. But how much are they willing to spend on an ETB or a UPC is yet to be discovered. And I just think that that's super interesting. So yeah, a lot of opportunity, a lot of offsize traps. For me right now, I'm just stacking gradable singles. Trying to get completely out of seal, dude. I know this is like a dead drum. Like, oh, everybody's going to have like pallets and pallets of Pokemon in their closet in the future, so it won't be worth it. I don't even think that's the case, because I think that ripping ships do offset everybody trying to keep things sealed. I'm just not interested. I have no interest in a product where it's coming out of the gate at Target with all of its value for the next 2 years already baked in. You know what I mean? Like, and if we get Ascended Heroes ETBs, yes, let's say they come out again, and then Ascended Hero ETB, you're able to get it for $60. You're probably not going to be able to get more than you are going to get today for that ETB for the next year and a half, because everyone knows the reprints are back up and working. They're starting with Destiny, they're working their way down. So yes, Ascended Heroes is a little bit of a way out, but like, if you know what's coming, no logical person will pay up. There will always be outliers that will pay up no matter what, but I think that this beginning of the year, we've already seen that invisible ceiling set. And I do think that's the same with One Piece, which is why I say it's a similar off-size trap. It's just a little bit higher. OP booster boxes cannot go over 600. When they go around that 600 area, that's when Bandai launched a reprint for OP13. And that's when the sales volume just starts to slow down, because people just, the risk reward just isn't there anymore. And I don't think all consumers are genius and they're all sitting there crunching the numbers. I just think that you can feel it. You know, like when you get dunked and you're like, oh, I paid MSRP, like the dunking doesn't hurt as much. When you get dunked and it's a $600 box, so the value is $250, you're like, fuck that. Scalper, trader, collector, whoever you are, at a certain point, the money is too much not to take it. So I think that's also another cool thing that I want to segue into, is just like the hypocrisy in the hobby. Like, bro, everybody's buying, selling, trading, doing everything. Yes, scalpers are annoying. I deal with them all the time, seeing how I like multiple TCGs. I'm a giant One Piece fan. I get to watch fucking losers clear the shelves of all the illustration boxes, then try to sell them for literally $5 more because the previous illustration box was hot. And now they're trying to sell starter decks. Like, it's just bad bump. And then on top of that, this is not me just being a hater, but I absolutely hate when scalpers get random hits, because now you're never going to get them out of our fucking TCG hobby, because now they're addicted to the gambling aspect like we are. Like, one of my buddies, pure Scalpatron, hit Bubble Zoro, and he doesn't even like One Piece, doesn't watch One Piece. He just knows the card has value, and he has a decent job, so he just wants to keep it, get it graded, or, you know what I mean, and then flip it later on for more money. Like, it's all about the flip for them. So I'm just very interested to see how many of these people stick around as Sealed begins to lose its value, or Sealed becomes just less interesting, because on the vending side, vendors don't want the Sealed. It doesn't move. Why would I let you trade me Sealed for my chase cards when it doesn't move? You know what I mean? And I think another thing that's to come in 2026 into 2027 is people are going to have to learn how to really sell. Because these collections, like, man, you have a valuable collection, but if you don't know how to sell, you're getting 70%. Like, nobody's going to sit here and do all this math, to comp all this shit out with you and blah, blah, blah. Because most of these items are reaching the point where it's becoming illiquid. And it's not becoming, like, super illiquid, but they are becoming less liquid. And as somebody who sells online on TCG Player and eBay and all that stuff every day, you can feel it on our end as well. There are things there, if I would have floored it, it was selling in the morning when I woke up. Now there's these same items, if I'm to floor it, let's say in the Ascended Heroes ETB, it's not going to sell when I wake up. 3 people are going to undercut me. You know what I mean? So it's like, we're reaching a softening in the market. And it's just bringing opportunity to those with deep pockets. Like I said, we know the Destined Rivals reprint is coming. We just got the OP13 reprint. We have an EB03 reprint coming. There's just a ton of opportunity in the market for those who are capitalized. So I think right now, going into the 30th, Pokemon is going to do a phenomenal job making this as into an investable opportunity for people with all bag sizes. And I don't think it's going to be investable as in like, oh, you buy this box and it goes up immediately. I mean, no, like, you don't have a chance to buy this box no matter your amount of money you have, because they will be available for at least a year at MSRP. Obviously, you know, they do print lines for 2 years or whatever, Necess stays in rotation for 2 years, but man, I don't know, guys. Things have been weird in the hobby, man. And I'm not saying it like I've been here for 20 years. You know what I mean? I restarted over again in like 2018 or something. I got in right around the time I finished college, started buying some Pokemon. And I've been here on and off ever since. I just recently started vending, which I feel like gives me a lot more insight, because you just run into a lot of people who have the mentality of like, oh, if you're not giving me 85%, you're ripping me off. And it's like, dude, you've clearly never tried to sell yourself, because 85% is like the top margin. Like 85% isn't like emergency liquidity, like, here, I'll pay you out today. You know what I mean? And I just think until you try to get to sell on your own, whether it's on Facebook, Instagram, do a show, you'll never be able to really get a good feel for the value of things relative to the quote-unquote market price. You know what I mean? And yeah, I'm just down. I'm rambling at this point, but I'm pulling into the gym. So this is just my way of vlogging my thoughts for the morning. I'll probably tap back into this later, see how I'm feeling, how I did. But thanks for coming to my TED Talk and bearing with me through the dark. Man, I appreciate you guys. I'll try to upload more regularly on the channel. But as always, have a good one. Peace.